Boom! It's a short intro. Welcome to Saturday Hockey Talk. I'm your host, Rick, and I got a guest with me tonight. He's been on a couple times last year. That's Eric from Don't Puck with Media and Flyer Gonna Flyer a podcast. You guys know him already. So we are here to talk hockey. We're going to talk about a few things. We'll see how it goes. I got a bunch of things here to do whatever. One of them is not hockey. It is baseball. I'm going to tell you why we're going to talk about it. I came across, I guess it was on Blue Sky. Someone posted something I had never really thought about doing, although I just did it for I know for Boston in their podcast, and I've done it for the Habs, and that is a Montreal Expos Mount Rushmore. And I had never thought about it. Now, I saw I'll show you the picture when we get to this of what I saw. I didn't agree with everything, like the four players. Not that they weren't great players and whatever, but they weren't mine. So I came up with mine. At last minute, too, I asked Eric if he wants to come up with his. So we'll go over that real quick. I've got some more of those whose stat is this. So if we get to that, I got some of that. Training camp opened. So training camp opened, and Eric is he's wearing. I just noticed you're wearing the Expos hat. Awesome. Yep. So training camp open. Eric is a Flyers fan, so he's on the Flyers podcast over on the other channel. So we'll talk about both teams. Any questions you guys might have about any of that, and any other questions for NHL. And if we can answer them, we will. If we can't answer them, we'll lie to you. It's very, very simple. We're going to do that. Maybe I'll start off. Hopefully I'll remember to repeat this, but we're looking for one team owner for the fantasy pool. We got 12 teams, 11 are filled. I need one more team owner. So if you're interested in doing that, send me an email at talkinghabs@gmx.com. That is in the description, the email. And let me know you're interested, and I'll send you a link, and you can join up. Preseason games start I know for Montreal, it is Monday and Tuesday, actually. And Tuesday, we're playing his team. So that's going to be interesting. So we can talk about that a little bit. Because I'm right, preseason games start. Yeah, I wrote here. Oh, yeah, 18 days to game one of the season, and we're starting in Toronto. Where are you guys starting?
Good question. Off the top of my head, I can't remember, but I think I know it's Florida. I'm pretty sure it's Florida, but I can't. Florida? I think it's at home.
Oh, yeah, you guys got like Florida twice in 5 games, right?
Yeah, we have, I think, Florida twice, Winnipeg. Oh, and 2 other, like we have like our first 5 games are hell.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough for that's tough.
I was like, all right, no problem. Hey, let's get him out of the way at the beginning.
True, it's not, you know what? It doesn't matter anyways. You gotta play them, you gotta win them. Doesn't matter which game of the season. You gotta just, it's something that Coach Marty was saying, that he's very proud of his team, is that from day one, they're starting, it's all business. It starts seriously now, not like we start to get ready from day one. And he said it's not him that did that. It's the players coming in, and it's all business. They're ready. They know every minute counts, and you want to win and be in the playoffs. That starts today, not in a week when the preseason games start. So I really thought that was really good.
Well, yeah, like even like something that the Flyers did this season also in training camp, that it's usually not done that way, but whatever. But like day one, Rick Tocchet started talking systems and like learning systems, and I guess also because it's a new coach, so already,
he's changing some things.
Like the system, apparently the system that he's gonna run is not so different than what Torts. It's different, but it's not like leaps and bounds different. Like Torts, with Torts, we played like a zone defense, so it's more or less going to be the same, but it's a slight variation. But that's it. Like offensively, it's a little different, but that's it. Usually, like beginning of couple first days of training camp. It's conditioning. It's like
Yeah.
getting to know each other, get some
Yeah.
scoops in, whatever. But no, apparently at day one, toward
Because they got to speed it up these days. They don't
Yeah.
have the time they used to have, And
especially-
I'll bet you the system change if it's on the defense. If you're like Montreal, because Montreal started doing this last year, is a combination of that the zone defense and taking. What is the man on man? No,
man on man. Yeah.
Is it man on man? I don't know the terms, but you got to play
defense.
a combination of that. That's where the NHL is going. That's what St. Louis brought in last year. It took them a while to get it, so it's something you got to work on from day one and get it. And that's probably what he's doing, because that's St. Louis saying that's where the NHL is going, and he wants his team ready when the NHL gets there.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Not fully there, but that's where teams are going.
Yeah, and especially now, like with the new CBA and everything, when we're gonna have shorter we're gonna have shorter camps, shorter preseason.
Yeah.
So yeah, the faster you could start like learning all these systems and everything. So I think it's better this way, because that's what it's gonna be going forward. So better.
You got to be ready. You got to be ready from day one. Be there in shape, ready, like game ready, pretty much. Because this camp starts 17th for like physicals and stuff, but by 22nd they're playing games. That's 5 days. That's like nothing, right? So anyway, all right, let's see what else. Did I cover everything? Oh, we may cover this if there's time. Sidney Crosby rumors being traded. Montreal is that destination. It's heating up again, and I don't mean like fans are talking about it. Writers, people who know better than I do, are writing about it more and more. It's heating up. Maybe we'll get to that. You guys might have some opinions. I'm not saying Crosby's coming here, but man, the talk is really out there. And we always say where there's smoke, there's fire. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if we get time for that. Let's see who's here, and then we'll get the ball rolling. Hey, Joe, first in. Joe from the future. How's it going there, Joe? She's saying, watching the Blues and versus Stars preseason game at present, any hockey is good hockey. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I'm gonna be more limited in the games I'm gonna get this year because I don't have Sportsnet, but I do have TSN, all 5 channels, and RDS. So I'm gonna get games, just not as many as last year. And yeah, I last year I watched a lot more games than I usually do that aren't my team. So, and I enjoyed them. So I can't say I didn't like that. BL, how's everyone doing on this cool September night? You're not kidding. Cool. Jesus. Cool. Jesus Christ. Yeah. And by the way, it's not often that I do a live stream and I have a guest and they're in the same city as me.
Yeah.
But Eric is a Montrealer. We're just on opposite ends of the island. That's the only thing. So we don't live really close to each other, but we're both in Montreal.
East side.
Yeah, he's in the east. I'm in the west. And hey, there's a show in there. It feels like there's a comedy there. He's from the east. He's from the west. Yet they both get. You know what I mean? Some shit like that. Joe says, I'll miss the one against the Pens radiologist appointment. Well, that's more important, believe me. I Tuesday's game I'm not gonna miss, but it's gonna be tight, but I'm not gonna miss it. Just got something that's a little late in the afternoon. Going to special basketball doubleheader today. Sydney Kings versus the Partizan, which is Serbia. Versus Partizan. And Adelaide 36ers versus Panathinaikos. What? Oh, it's Greek. So Panathinaikos. Panathinaikos. Yeah, that's it. Nice. Basketball. I'm not a big basketball fan. Yeah, Joe's in Australia, in case you were wondering.
Oh, okay.
That's why. Yeah.
All right.
That's why. It's why I call her Joe from the future, because she's always.
Oh, true.
And if Crosby is coming to the Habs, that would be nuts. It would be. I don't think Montreal would be willing to pay the price for that. That's still going to be a heavy price if you're going to trade for
Oh
Crosby.
yeah, I think
And
they're gonna pay it though. I think they're gonna pay it. I think they
I
will.
think they're willing to pay a big price, but I don't know if they're willing to pay one of the players that is more than likely going to be asked for, and that's Reinbacher. I don't know if they're
Oh
willing.
no, I don't think so. I don't. Well, the thing is with the Crosby trade also is because Crosby holds all the cards, meaning like he could choose his destination.
Right.
So the price might not be as high
Right.
as some
That's true.
people are thinking.
That's a good
I
point.
still think it's going to cost you at the very minimum a first, a prospect, and a roster player.
That's okay though, depending on the roster player. But a first
Yeah.
and a prospect, I'm take 2 firsts and a prospect. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's going to cost. Who's the roster player? Who's the prospect though? It kind of does matter who the
Yeah.
prospect is. But I have heard, like, I did see somewhere. Yeah, I do that. It's not. But from what I understand, Reinbacher's not on the table.
No, I wouldn't be shocked if he's off the table.
So that's what I understand.
I'm
And by
thinking
the
more
way,
like
I
a
heard.
Michael Hage or something.
Yeah, I don't like that either. But you're right. It might be a Michael Hage, and I don't think they're willing to do that personally, because Hage would be the guy that would, when Crosby, if he comes here, then retires. I think Hage would be the guy they'd want to be ready for that. So I don't think Hage and Reinbacher can be involved. If they can go for other guys, and we've got some other good players, then yeah, I think that could happen. Like, seriously. Although they have to move some money somewhere because you're bringing in 8.7.
Well, if you pack it, like, let's say your roster, how much does Kirby Doc make? Like 3.5?
3.3, I want to say.
And now they have like 4 million since the Carey Price trade, if I'm not mistaken, right?
We're sitting at, I think, 4.6 million.
So, like, let's say Doc is the roster player going the other way. Maybe you make like another little move to free up another million. It's possible, and who knows? And maybe Pittsburgh retains.
Maybe
Like,
they
$1
could
million,
retain
$2
$1 million.
million.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Anyway, we'll see. But it is being seriously talked about. It's not just like when I first started talking about it, it was kind of fringe, but it was out there. But man, more and more writers and like people in the know are talking about it as a serious, potentially serious thing. I'd love to have him here. There's no doubt. And I think I'm willing to give up Doc to get him.
Oh yeah.
Now the thing is, I kind of think like if Pittsburgh is willing to do that, like right now, I think Montreal will do that. Give up Doc.
Yeah.
For just 2 years of Crosby, because you're just getting 2 years, maybe a third year of Crosby. That's it.
Yeah, because look, right. Crosby's 37, I want to say.
Yeah, I think he's 37.
Yeah, so he's got 2 more. Well, this year and next on the contract. Yeah, and honestly, the way he's playing, it wouldn't surprise me if he plays till 40.
That's what I'm hearing is that from what I read a couple of things where they're supposed to know from him that I think he wants to play till 40.
Yeah, and look, at the end of the day, he's still a point per game plus.
Yeah, I know.
And even if he slows down and let's say he slows down and becomes like a 50 to 60 point player, like at 40 years old, that's still like a top second line center in the league.
Yeah. And I mean, he'd be coming in to play second line center. And you know what? But even if he gives you 80 points, 70, he's still second line center. That's good, and he's not. He's going to give you more. And I'll tell you what, I think he gets a bit of a motivational bump if he does come here, because I think he'd be pretty happy. Like, I know it would be sad for him to be leaving Pittsburgh and all that, but I think he's going to be happy here. You know what I mean? The city's going to love him. He's got a chance here to make the playoffs and then maybe do some damage, especially if he's here. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. It's just a rumor, but it's kind of, I don't know. It's gaining momentum.
Yeah, because like one of the biggest points, I think Elliot Friedman, the biggest point like he makes is that, like, especially last year, because like, look, Pittsburgh's been out of the playoffs for I think 3 straight years now, and his thing is like Crosby, like last year at the Four Nations, when like he played that competitive hockey again, you know, and that like for a player like Crosby, that he's a competitor. Players like that are competitors.
Yeah.
And so it's like he's gonna have that itch now, and with the Olympics coming now too this year, like he's gonna see that. And look, as far as I know, like not as far as I know, but like you just look at Pittsburgh's roster. This is not a playoff team. It's not.
No,
it's not.
Miracle if they make the playoffs.
Exactly. So, like, if you're Crosby, you really want to stay there? Like, for what? For what? And also at the same time, look, if it is the Habs, let's say, okay, you go to your boyhood team. This is the team you cheered for as a kid, and if even having like the slightest chance of winning the cup, it would be the first cup back in Canada. Like, if that happens, if he would come to Montreal, win a cup in Montreal, I swear to God, Rick, I think they would put his face on like the $10 bill or something.
It's almost like he'd be a god. No, like, seriously.
He'd be a god in this country.
If you talk about a guy who plays to that high level and is competitive like that and needs to get motivated and get those juices flowing, that's got a move like to Montreal has got to do, I would think would do that for him. Wouldn't you? He's got an opportunity again, playoffs and whatever. Yeah, as much as he can almost take the team there, you know, or help to lead the team there. That's got to give him motivation, you'd think. So anyway, we'll see what happens. It's not going to shock me anymore now that people are talking about it, right? More, it seems like there's more of a thing there. So I wouldn't be as shocked. I don't think it's going to happen, but, you know, maybe it's something that happens at some point during. Like, I don't think it happens before the season starts.
No,
it's going to be something that's going to happen when they realize when like 20 games in, when Pittsburgh ain't making it, it's definite, right? It's not a they don't look like a good team. They're not a good team. Maybe then he asks for a trade.
Yeah,
never know.
I think it's definitely going to be probably after Christmas or after the
Olympics.
The Olympics, exactly. Yeah. So it's going to be one or the other because
then if you're gonna do it, I think Montreal would want him here longer than less. So maybe something earlier.
Yeah, but I think the issue is Crosby. It's like I think he'll give it at the beginning of the season to really see, okay, do we maybe have a chance at least to compete for a playoff spot?
Right.
Which I think, and a lot of fans think, no, it's not happening.
Most people think.
Again, you never know. So I think he wants to give it at least a shot to say, okay, let's see what we can do.
Yeah.
And then once he realizes, I think by like end of November, you're 2 months into the season, your team's floundering, it's not going to happen. That's when I think he goes in to Dubas's office and says, okay, I'm ready now. And then that's when they start the process.
BL says this, Crosby has said he's not going anywhere. And I know he said it recently again.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll say,
right.
What do you want him to say? It's what it's expected. If he hasn't fully made his mind up, that's what he's going to say. He's not going to say anything different and put that question out there and get fans mad at him. And so that's what he's expected to say. He and Mario were delivering season tickets, and he was telling everyone that he wants to stay in Pittsburgh. He's not, but even if he's thinking, I'm probably going to go, he's not lying. He wants to stay in Pittsburgh. It's not a lie.
It's not.
So, just can he or will he? It's just that there's too many writers and are talking about it. Now, not everybody, and maybe not the big guys, and that's true. So I'm just saying, it seems to be gaining some speed or some steam is all. Yeah. That's all. But you heard me say, I don't think it's going to happen, so don't come down on me here, BL. BL.
And actually, in just quick, but like in my, I wrote a blog last week talking about the Pittsburgh Penguins and possible destinations. So if you I put Montreal, I put Montreal as my destination for Crosby.
I know.
So if you all want to check that out, don'tpuckwithmedia.com blogs, check it out.
There you go. Don'tpuckwithmedia.com. I don't know if the link is in the description, but It's don'tpuckwithmedia.com. It's not hard.
Yeah, because even look at Pittsburgh's like Malkin. I think if I'm not mistaken, they had said it. Someone came out and said at one point he's not coming back. It's done.
No, it's his last season. Yeah.
So he's gonna most probably get traded at the deadline. Most like go maybe chase.
But he's retiring. So who's
But again, up to him.
True. For if you're gonna trade him to a contender or last run, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, only to a contender. Obviously.
So now, like if you're Crosby, you see your buddy's leaving, he's not coming back, and so maybe he decides to like, okay, you know what, maybe it's time.
Yeah, maybe it's time. And listen, his dad was drafted by Montreal as a goalie, never played in the NHL, so he never played for Montreal, but he was drafted by Montreal. Crosby grew up a Montreal fan, I think because of that. And I think between Montreal and Colorado, those are the two teams that if he's going to ask for a trade, that's where he's going to ask to go.
I just don't think, unless Crosby says Colorado is the only team I'll go to, I just don't see Colorado having the assets to trade for Crosby. No, Montreal could give them the better package easy.
This is true. I still, if he's going to say it, I believe that Montreal and Colorado would be the two teams because he's got ties there to both teams, right? You got McKinnon. They're definitely close friends, and he would want to win a cup with him if he could. I definitely would believe that. And then Montreal, because he's got that kind of personal tie to Montreal. And I don't think there's any other team that he would want to go to. And I don't, just because, I don't know him, but you hear that rumor all the time and people talk about it because probably he's talked about it. And he's probably said it to people that those would be the only teams that I would go to. I would think.
Yep.
Anyways, we talked a lot about that. It was last on my list too. I said, if we have time. That's crazy. But I mean, speculation, and I'd love to have him here. All right, let's get to, and I hope you're ready for that because you got the hat on. I want to get to this Expos thing. I love the Expos. There's a rumor. I don't know what Matt kind of told me something, and he didn't elaborate, and saying that there's a chance again that Montreal is going to get an expansion team, I guess. Is the Major League Baseball planning to expand? I
heard they are actually planning to expand.
Yeah, so I guess that's what Matt was talking about. So I don't know. So he brought that up. I love the Expos. I always have. I would love to have the Expos back. Unless there's a team come back to Montreal, I don't see myself getting back into baseball because I have no team to cheer for. That's how because I don't have. I never would cheer for any other team. It was just the Expos. That's it. So. Then I saw this. Did I load the picture? I may not have. Let me see if I loaded it. Yes. Then I saw this. And it's Expos Mount Rushmore. On the Mount Rushmore are, let me see from here if I can tell. I know Gary Carter, Andre Dawson, Vlad Guerrero, and Tim Raines. Now, I don't disagree completely that those guys aren't great. And I happen to love Tim Raines. Vladdy was great, but he was here kind of more near the end, and I didn't follow it as strongly back then. But still obviously know who he is. But I don't agree necessarily with two of those guys.
Well, so it's Vladdy and Raines that you don't agree with?
Yeah, those are the two that I would take because Gary Carter.
Yeah, no,
without a
Gary
doubt,
Carter has to be there.
Is there? There's without a doubt. And for me, no, and Andre Dawson.
Okay, yeah,
because you can't argue with Andre Dawson being there. I don't think at all. So those two guys I keep, but the other two like Raines and Guerrero, for me, would be maybe honorable mentions. Yes. But I have two other guys that I would put there ahead of them. And you could say personal. One I don't think is personal. I think should be there for anybody. But one I know is personal. And I think a lot of people would liked him and all that. But I don't know if everybody would have him on there.
Okay. Well,
should I reveal my two? Or did you come up with a list at all?
Well, I'm going to tell you that I grew, look. I actually loved baseball as a kid, like as like a little kid, growing up. And the thing was, though, I was an Atlanta Braves fan.
Yeah, I knew you'd tell me.
For whatever reason. Like I just love the Braves because like back then, the early '90s, with Maddox was my favorite. Maddox was my guy. He was my player. But then you had Glavin and you had Schmaltz and Schmaltz and everything, and like I don't know. I really like the Braves, but like I had a little soft spot for the Expos. My hometown team and everything. I started getting more into the Expos towards the late '90s, early 2000s. Um, but that's obviously they weren't
Yeah,
a
it
good
wasn't the
team.
same
Like
team. Yeah.
after that's the thing too, right? Because like that '94 strike, like that killed the
Killed
Expos.
them, yeah. And then 95 fire sale. And then that
Yeah,
was it.
and so I was like 10 years old, so I was still really young. So the early history of the Expos, I know more just by like word of mouth, people like some of my
Mhm.
uncles or whatever talking to me about the Expos. So for me, like Gary Carter, obviously I hear it's Gary, like there's parks named after him. They just
Yeah,
built,
right here, as a matter of fact, when near me, there's Gary Carter.
yeah, and in Ahuntsic, where I'm originally from in Montreal, they just redid the stadium. They have a small baseball stadium, and
Yeah,
now it's Stade Gary Carter.
yeah, that's cool.
So like him, obviously I have no Andre Dawson, no problem. Tim Raines, honestly, again, I never watched him play, but for whatever reason, every time I hear at Montreal Expos, he's one of the names that always pops into my
Oh, yeah.
head.
Yeah, he's
So,
rightfully there. I'm not saying he's not. He is. Great base stealer. I mean, great base stealer.
mm, and
He was a
and look,
great player.
and Guerrero, like in my day, like he was like
For
the
you,
man.
yeah.
Like
For a
he
younger
was,
generation, I can see Vladdy being there more than I would have seen him.
yeah,
Definitely. So that's why I say I don't disagree with that these guys shouldn't be there. I'm just saying for me, two are different. That's all.
yeah. The
But
only
definitely. So
one that I might put in there that I can remember, and I barely watched him with the Expos because, like I said, I was young, and I think he got dealt before I really started getting into the Expos. But I don't know if he spent enough time, and that's Pedro. I'm like,
Pedro, oh yeah, Pedro Martinez. That's fair because you might say he wasn't here long enough, and he was in the fire sale, I think, in '95. But definitely Pedro. I mean, he had his perfect game here.
ah,
You know, so El Presidente, El Perfecto. So yeah, yeah, that's a name I didn't think of at all, actually. But yeah, I think that he should be in the mention. Definitely, I think that's fair. For
yeah.
me, though, you have another one, or that was it?
No, that's pretty much it. Because my favorite player in like the late '90s, early 2000s was Jose Vidro, but I would never put Jose
No,
Vidro
okay, no, that's
on
for sure.
Mount Rushmore.
That's for sure. For me, my favorite pitcher, and he's here, and I think it's not just because he's my favorite pitcher. I think he deserves to be here. Other than that, and that's Steve Rogers. I just love Steve Rogers. He was great. He never won 20 games, but he came really close. He likes to. I think he probably still. He likes to say he won 19 one year, and then he won the All Star game. So that's 20.
It counts. It counts.
Counts. We only had one 20-game winner, Ross Grimsley. It's the only time we had a 20-game winner in there. Anyway, Steve Rogers. Love Steve Rogers. Yes, he gave up the homer on Blue Monday, but he shouldn't have been put in that situation. Was Jim Fanning, I guess, was the manager. Puts in Steve Rogers in relief to stop what. And Steve Rogers was known. First inning could be iffy, especially first pitch, the first few pitches. If he gets through the first inning, especially, he probably wins the game. So it's touchy. He had that, whatever. You don't put him in relief. It's like an inning. Your reliever's going to pitch an inning, maybe. That's his worst thing. And bang, like right away, boom, over, game over. Wasn't surprised, but I love Steve Rogers. So for me, Steve Rogers goes up there. The one that I'm surprised actually isn't here, and by Vladdy being there tells me the person who put that up where I got it was probably a little younger than me. And I think Rusty Staub has to be there because Rusty Staub I don't know if he was here in the very first year, but he was the first big star here. He drew fans. He was a great player, great hitter. I think Rusty Staub has to be there. I don't think how you think of the Montreal Expos and you don't think of Rusty Staub, especially if you're older, you know? So anyway, that's who it is for me. I don't know if anybody in the chat wants to put who theirs would be. I'd be happy to read them. I'm going to take that picture down, though. Just give me a sec. And let's get back to the comments and see. I see there were a few. Where am I? Yeah, we moved on from that. Hey, Guru, how's it going, man? Good to see you out there. Blues and Stars tied at 1. Ray Bork scored? Which Bork am I'm thinking? I'm not thinking of who this is. Which Bork? Maverick?
Oh, maybe Maverick Bork. Dallas?
Yeah. Is it? Yeah.
Is it the Dallas game?
Maverick. Okay.
Yeah, it's Maverick. My guy.
Yeah, there you go. So BL says he would go with John Bacabella, Mac Jones, Chris Spire, and John Bateman. Chris Spire was a really good shortstop, but not one of those guys is worthy of that. If in my opinion, not one of them. BL. Now I'm not surprised because it's BL, and he likes to troll me a little bit. All in fun. So I think he's just trolling me with those names because not one of those names is worthy of that. So there you go. Hey, Phil, how's it going, man? Good to see you out there, buddy. El Perfecte is Dennis Martinez. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
El Perfecto.
That's the name.
Yeah, it was Pedro.
No, over Pedro because I think because of that perfect game. Why was I thinking it was Martinez? Because Martinez. It's Dennis Martinez.
Yeah.
Dennis Martinez could be up there, I think. And because he was a really good pitcher and all that, and that perfect game is kind of legendary here, especially the Dave Van Horn announcement of what I said, but it was just the wrong player. It wasn't Martinez, though. At least it got that right.
Right.
Steve Rogers gave up the home. I said this, but I still love him, and he's still great. And not his fault, as I said. Shouldn't have been put in that situation. Should not have been put in that situation. Yes, I haven't seen it yet. Didn't that just come out, the documentary? I want to see it.
I thought it was coming out in October. No,
very possible. Like I that's why did it come out because I thought it was coming out very soon.
Yeah, because there's something on the Expos that I follow on Twitter, and I saw December.
I'm definitely planning to watch that.
Yeah. It looks really good. I saw the preview. It looks really good.
Yeah, because I've seen some things like that, little documentaries on the Expos. Oh man, I love that stuff. I mean, listen, I don't follow baseball anymore, but for you guys wouldn't believe maybe how much I love baseball. Growing up, how much I love the Expos and I love baseball, but just when they took the team away, I just stopped watching. Like I said, I don't have a team to cheer for. I don't have a reason to watch.
Yeah, the schedule release date is Tuesday, October 21st.
Tomorrow.
No, October 21st.
October. A month from tomorrow. How's that?
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's what it says here. That's what I remember seeing, yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait. Yeah, I think that's my favorite tandem for the announcers. Dave Van Horn, Duke Snider. Yeah. But there were a couple of guys that worked well with Dave Van Horn, but I think Duke Snider was the best. Hey, Larry the Cable Guy. He says, who's the other guy? That's Eric from Don't Puck with Media. That's their other channel. And the Flyer Are Gonna Fly a podcast. And fellow Montrealer. So, yeah, he's been on before. Yep. You might not have seen him, but he's been on before.
Repping my MTL Expos.
Considering that they're talking about it, I should have worn my Expos hat. I don't know why I didn't.
Actually, we might do a little talk about the Expos. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah, I should have. But ever since I got my Habnormals hat, I have pretty much. I don't think another hat's been on my head more than just for a very short period of time. Twice, I think.
But also, it's a special edition there with the green.
Yeah, that's the Italian stallion version of the Expos logo.
Oh man, I saw that lids. And I'm like, oh, I have to buy. Like, I have to buy. It was calling me. Like, not only the
it's really
Expos,
nice.
I always wanted to buy an Expos hat. And so I'm walking by lids, and I saw like they had like this special edition. They did it with a bunch of teams where it's like different countries,
makes sense,
colors, and actually I don't even think it's supposed to be Italy. It's supposed to be, I think, Turkey. I don't remember what the country was.
Whatever, it works.
But it works. Because of the green, white, red. So like, all right.
It's a bit hip hoppy, like kind of that, for the younger crowd anyway. But I usually, when I was especially younger, I never didn't have an Expo hat. Wore it in the summer, and any winter stuff wore a Canadians hat. Oh, I didn't mean to take that down. BL says his Mount Rushmore for the Expos: Carter, Dawson, Reigns, and Larry Walker. See, Larry Walker, fair, but Larry Walker didn't make his bones really here in Montreal. He made that with the Rockies. That's where Walker really became a star. It started here, but I don't really think of him that way here.
Yeah, but how many of those can we? How many players can we say that about the Expos though?
Well, true. I guess that's true.
They were so good, and then like they left and became superstars. Like,
hey, Doug, good to see you out there, Doug. Doug's one of the Doug's in the pool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's one of the teams in the pool, and he's the Puff Pass team. I think is Doug, I believe. Hockey's back. It sure is. Looking forward to our fantasy hockey pool. Yes, so am I. And again, if you're out there and you want to join, got one spot left. That's it. Down to one spot left. So send me an email at talkinghabs@gmx.com. And that's in the description if you don't remember. And just let me know you're interested. And if I get multiple, I'll pick. And if I get one, well, you'll get in. Just let me know. And we're going to fill that somehow, because we're going to have, just so if you didn't know, it's two divisions. Eric and I are in the celebrity division. Literally, it's called the celebrity division because I don't know what to call it. It's all of us over at Don't Puck with Media. And then there's the subscriber division, and there's 6 subscribers. That division, if the winner of that division will get a $25 credit, I guess, at the store. That's the link is down below me there, and that's what you'd win. So that way I don't have to send you anything, and you don't have to wait for it either. You'll get it, boom, you can go shop, and it'll be like that. What else? Where was I? Wait, I don't know where it was.
Larry.
What am I expecting to come out of training camp before the season? To come out of training camp? I'm expecting 23 men on a roster.
Hopefully.
I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. Okay, I'm gonna let Eric answer that, but for the Flyers, and then I'll do it.
Oh, for the Flyers,
what do I pass the buck? You like the way I passed the buck there? Pretty good though, eh?
No. Well, look, for the Flyers, I expect them to come out of training camp. Like a couple of guys that are fighting for spots. I guess just like almost any other team, like we got a couple of rookies or second-year players that are fighting for a spot, and a couple, like there was the one kid that we got in the Scott Lawton trade with Toronto, Nikita Gabenkin, who's looking awesome, like really good at camp. He had really strong rookie games.
Yeah, Jamie was just wow about him.
He was on fire in the rookie games. Well, now, granted, he's a little on the older side. I think he's 22, if I'm not mistaken. So clearly he's going to more or less dominate against rookies. But he's transitioned that into a really solid training camp. He's showing to have a lot of chemistry with Mishkov right now, which is a big plus. And no, he's looking like we really fleeced Toronto. Because we got a first-round pick and this player.
Yeah.
So for Scott Lawton, don't get me wrong. Like, I really love Scott Lawton when he was here. Great role player, but like
a
It's
first
looking
and a
like
guy that might be like a legitimate NHL good player. Like that's
yeah,
pretty good for
we might
lots.
have got we might have got a legit at the very least. He's a bottom sixer at the very least, but it's looking that he might, if his offense can really translate, he might be like a middle sixer. And if we got that plus a first round pick for Scott Lawton,
Yeah, it's pretty good. That's pretty
plus,
good. I admit.
anytime you could fleece Toronto is always a good day.
And that too, right? Anytime you can anything to Toronto, yes. Definitely agree with that. Okay, so what do I expect from Montreal coming out of camp? I expect a team that will get some respect this year. I expect Montreal is going to be a lot better than a lot of people think. That I just expect a team that's going to come out of camp that is going to be a team that is capable of finishing in the top 3 in the division. Other than that, yeah, I don't know. I just expect players to be better, to have progressed, and they're going to be a serious team. They're definitely, to my mind, they're a playoff contender for sure. Not saying a cup contender. Definitely, I'm not saying that. But they're a playoff contender. So, I mean, that's what I'm expecting.
Oh, yeah.
That good? Did we do a good job on that?
No, I think, look, they have a legit shot of getting a playoff spot. But like we were talking about like before, I don't know if it was here, we were talking about before on the other show. But anyway, what's really crazy about the NHL lately, and you know what? Like, I guess you got to hand it to Gary Bettman, I guess, if that's what I want to say. But like, there's so much parity right now in the NHL that it's like you look at the division and you're like, okay, there's maybe one or two teams that you could say, okay, for sure, that team is a definite lock. Like that team's making the playoffs for sure, maybe even a cup contender. But then you go look at everybody else and you're like, okay, well, they have a little bit of weakness at 2C. Oh, well, you know what? They have a bit of a weakness at 1D. And oh, well, you know what? Team X, well, their goaltending is not great. You can find flaws with so many teams that, like, honestly, all it's going to take is like one serious injury or one really bad stretch of hockey that could sink your season.
Yeah, it can. Legitimately, you're right there. Yeah.
Yeah, because honestly, like, you look at the Atlantic, right? So Toronto, honestly, I've said this before. I think Toronto's take a step back this year.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
I think they're really gonna feel that Mitch Marner, like, it's you lost 104-point player.
It's not just nothing. Mitch Marner. I think Austin Matthews is not gonna have that 60 goal, 100 and whatever point season. I don't think so. I don't know that you're gonna see that anymore from Matthews. Going to be a good player, all that, but I don't know. I think you lose Marner. Matthews isn't the same player. That team is going to drop back a little bit. I got it wrong in my final standings predictions that I did. I didn't have them falling back that much. Yeah, I think they're going to have at least a 10-point drop off.
Yeah, and like I look at their roster, Toronto, like you look at the roster and like, oh, this is a team that's built for the playoffs, because you look at the players like they added, like Dakota Joshua.
Yeah, and they're built better for the playoffs.
Wow. These are big physical players. These are guys that get you, like, perfect example. Like Mark Bergevin, what was his famous saying? There's players that get you to the playoffs, and there's players that get you through the playoffs.
Yeah.
These are guys that get you through the playoffs. But the thing is, does Toronto now, losing Marner, have enough guys to get you into the playoffs?
Well, I think they still do, but I don't think they do it in first or second place in the division anymore.
No, I think they might battle for third or even a wild card.
Yeah. Honestly, I think Montreal and Toronto battle for third place.
Yeah, and look, what helped Montreal last year also was that only 3 teams made it out of the Metro. Now, could that happen again? Quite possibly, because there's a lot of mush in the Metro right now.
Yeah, there is.
But you have a team like Columbus that was only 2 points behind Montreal. And goaltending was a big issue for them last year until they gave the ball to Jet Greaves and he just ran with it. So if that's like an issue, if that's not an issue anymore, and they have a lot of good young players, Columbus, that are up and coming, if they take another step, like maybe it's gonna, they'll be that 4-4 again, and who's the odd team out? So I don't know. Like it's so hard nowadays. I find to like I'm looking to do like a series now, like that the series, like for Don't Buck with Media, where I'm gonna try and project the standings in each division. But like I'm having such a hard time because I'm like, oh man, they could finish last or they could finish third. Like, I could see
well, that's parity. I mean, that's what parity is about, right? And that's what the league wanted. And you know what? Quite frankly, it makes for a much more exciting like finish, where there's there's who knows what's going to happen. There's so many teams in the running down to the wire. And I do like it better. That everybody does sort of have a chance. A lot more teams have a chance to make the playoffs than used to be, kind of.
100% sure.
But the top contenders, you're down. That's down to like just 4 or 5 teams that you could say, these guys could win a cup, like right just off the top, and then everybody else is kind of fighting for the rest. But every year, one of them falls out, and somebody surprising, comes up and makes a splash or rises pretty high. Surprisingly how high, what position they finish in their division, like that kind of thing. I may be biased, but I kind of think Montreal has a good shot to be that team in the Atlantic that rises higher than people thought. Because there's a lot of people still calling for Montreal to finish last in the division.
No, not last.
How is that? You're still calling for that, finishing with like 7-8 less points than last year.
No, not last in the division.
I mean, if injuries, like things could happen where that could happen, but how do you predict that ahead of time? You can't. You can't really predict the injuries. So, Montreal's not going to finish out, not last in the division. Like that's not happening.
I wouldn't think so, but
I laugh when I see that. No, I wouldn't think so, right? It's not something you would predict. Could it happen? It could happen.
It could.
Things could happen that beyond their control that you can't, but you can't. I don't know. I guess it's people that don't like Montreal still don't like Montreal.
Well, I guess because look, I'm looking at the standings from last year, right? And right behind Montreal was Detroit with 86, Buffalo with 79, and Boston with 76. So I'm assuming people are thinking like, well, Boston's not going to be as bad as they were last year.
Yes.
Which I don't know about that.
They are.
But I think they didn't really make that many big additions. So I think most people are betting on like Swayman having like a full off season without the distractions, and he's going to get back to form. And Lindholm and McAvoy. So they were hurt for like a good chunk of last season. So I'm assuming most people are expecting them to be better because of that. But then again, like honestly, if I had to pick one team, probably Detroit, I think is going to be last because I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah, I don't think they make the playoffs. I don't know if they're last, but they're going to be. To me, they're in the bottom 4. That's for sure.
And then you have the Sabres that it's got. You know what? It's got to click 1 year. 1 year, it just has to click.
It's going to hit 1 year, but which year? Who the fuck knows?
There's too much talent on that team for not to like. Come on, what's going on? Like,
whoever figures out what's wrong and then makes it turn around is going to be a hero there.
Yeah. Because what I always said about Buffalo was that just the balance is wrong. Like they have too many young players and not enough like good veterans to lead them.
Yeah, I think that's part. Yeah,
and that's always the chance. That's always the chance you take when you do a full teardown rebuild. That's always the chance you take because now you have no actually good veterans to then guide the young players that you draft.
Okay, but wait, Montreal just did a pretty good teardown rebuild, and they didn't get rid of certain veterans for that reason.
Exactly.
So in other words, you got to do a smart teardown.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't do that. That's what the problem. They didn't do it smartly. They went with a full youth movement and thought, well, they'll get experience as they go along. No, you need guys to mentor them and teach them in game situations what the freaking hell to do and learn from. And yeah, that's what I think you're right there, that's something that they're missing. So who knows when that's going to get rectified? I don't know. 14, what is it, 15 seasons now without the playoffs? This is going to be
so
15?
14, 15, something like that.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, that's just crazy. So yeah. Let's see. What did I miss here? Someone called us puckers? That's Phil. McTavish not even in Anaheim training camp. Hey, Johnny, how's it going?
Yeah, he was working out with the Ottawa 67s, I think.
But I heard that trading him was off the table now.
Yeah, Verbeek said he's not trading him.
He's not trading him. So they just have to work out a contract, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And listen, he's an RFA. He doesn't have the hugest leverage here.
Yeah. Well, look, the one thing I heard is that apparently, what's it called? Verbeek and Anaheim want to go long term. McTavish prefers to go short term. He'd prefer a short term contract, more like a bridge.
Yeah.
But he's not opposed to long term. But apparently, the AAV that Anaheim wants to sign him at for the long-term deal is not close to what he wants if he's going to sign long-term. And that's the holdup, is what that's the speculation around that I've been hearing.
Yeah, and it's kind of like that today, right? If they want to get this guy if they want to get him 8 years, they got to do it now. But if he's going to give up 8 years, he wants to get paid because there's going to be money to be made coming down the road. So, yeah, that's why, sure, he wants short term so that he can cash in on that. So, yeah, if I'm going to sign in, if you were thinking 8, it's going to cost 10 now.
Yeah, and I think that's the exact issue because I'm thinking that Anaheim's like, we want like 8 years at like, let's say $7 million. And McTavish like, well, no. If you want me for that long, it's got to be closer to, let's say, 9-10 because I think that I'm going to be with where the cap is going and where I think I could be, I don't want to, because they always say it like you don't want apparently what is it this on 32 Thoughts, Elliot Friedman said it a couple of times where it's like players hate being named the player with the best contract. Like they hate it apparently. It's like they don't want to be known like the guy that's on that sweetheart deal that like the team just like fleeced.
Not all players, because some players have been trying to get that. Like Marner didn't work out.
But yeah, so we'll see. Because look, now he's missed 4 days. We're 4 days into training camp now at this point.
But like for McTavish, that's the bad thing, by the way. You don't want to miss camp. But for McTavish, for what he's probably asking, they got a ton of money there. So if he's asking for 10, it's not like he's going to hurt them with that 10 because the cap is rising. They got all this money anyway. In a year or two, that 10 is going to be nothing. As long as he delivers on it, which probably he will. So I kind of lean towards like they're going to end up paying him what he wants because, the bad thing is, is it worth him missing not on his part, for them? Is it worth like if you're planning to make a splash this year, which we hear Anaheim is making the playoffs and all that? You want that guy missing camp?
No, that's why this is so stupid.
I wouldn't. I'd give him I'd come to give him a little bit that you didn't want. Like do that. It's worth it because you're screwing your season because guys who miss camp, it's not good.
It rarely works out. Well, look at Jeremy Swayman last year.
No, I've seen it many times in my lifetime, and usually that guy gets injured somewhere early. Or he just has a shitty season, or both.
Yeah,
that's usually how it happens.
Exactly. Usually they have a pretty shitty season, or like they get off to a really slow start and then kind of figure it out at the end. But by then it's too late, depending on who you're playing for.
And if this guy is going to be one of your big guys, why are you screwing his freaking season by doing that? Like I don't get that. I didn't know that he wasn't in camp. Like I didn't know that was happening. Honestly, it's the first I'm hearing. That's dumb. It's just really dumb.
Well, you're not going to go to camp without a contract.
No, I know that. I'm saying it's dumb on the team's part.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Oh, 100%.
For the
100%.
player too, but I mean, he doesn't have much of a choice. You got to sometimes stand your ground. The team's going to try to rip you off as much as they can, as far as contract. But you got to sometimes that's all you got. It's more on the team. If you're looking, this is your year to make a splash. Are you ever screwing it? Like I don't understand that. But Verbeek kind of strikes me as that as a GM. It took him a long time to get rid of that coach. Like everybody kind of knew last season that guy shouldn't have been their coach.
Yeah, and it's not the first time, that he's having like these issues with contracts and during the in training camp or whatever. Like same thing happened with well, now they're Flyers, but like with Jamie Drysdale and Trevor Zegras.
I wonder how much Pat Verbeek's nickname when he was a player, if he's like that as a GM, and his nickname, and Dave Poulin, who played with him, says this was his nickname, Little Ball of Hate. So I wonder if this is a guy that, he maybe he whatever. I wonder if that is his style of freaking GMing. Maybe it's not working if that's the case.
Yeah, honestly, that's what it's looking like. Like it's really like at a certain point, like you have to there has to be a little bit of a give and take. Like it just seems like he wants to take. He doesn't want to give.
Yeah, well, he's a hardball kind of guy. I mean, a little ball of hate. He played with intensity, obviously, and it's probably the way he GMs. Which maybe you got to. Today's player, it's not the same. You can't deal with them like players 20 years ago. You just can't. They're not.
Yeah. Work. What sucks also is that, especially look at Anaheim, like this is a team that has a lot of good young players, right? Like, you still have Cutter Gauthier, you still have like Zellweger, Lacombe, Mintuchuk, or I think I screwed up his name, but
Mintychuk or something like that. Mattychuk.
These are all guys that are going to need contracts soon. So at the same time, they're looking at the way he negotiated with Drysdale and Zegras. And now he sees what's happening. They're seeing what's happening with McTavish.
Yeah, without a doubt.
What point do these young players be like, do I really want to go through this? And like,
well, they got no choice. They're RFAs, but yeah, they're going to be tougher on him because of that.
No, and also like, let's say like this doesn't get done anytime soon, and it affects the season. This is a team that a lot of people are predicting, myself included, that I think could make the playoffs this year. I think they have the team.
Me too.
But now, if this whole thing causes issues and causes problems, and he comes into camp late, or even misses the start of the season, and then it's just he's playing catch up, and it screws up the season.
Yeah,
the players are gonna see this and be like, "Well, what the hell's going on here?" And like maybe who knows? Maybe they start demanding trades. Like, listen, I don't want to be a part of this. If this is, or ownership is gonna be like, well, listen, they're gonna have to sit down with him and be like, Pat, like we can't continue like this. Like, well, I understand you want to win every single negotiation, but at a certain point,
if they're smart, but I don't know how. Like, if we're just fans and we can see these things like over the years, right? How do they not see it, recognize it, get something done before it leads to a player that's important to your team that's going to miss training camp? That's ridiculous.
No.
So I don't know, honestly. Let's see. Doug wanted to say this about he wanted a trip on CJD to Expo spring training. Oh yeah, remember when they used to do that in West Palm Beach? Met all Expos but Dawson and had heart to heart talks with them. What a nice man. So. Nice. You say Matt, so you met Dawson or you didn't?
I think that's what he meant. He met them all, but then
had a heart-to-heart with Dawson. Yeah. Apparently, listen, Dawson was very respected by especially the younger players. Very respected. I know with Tim Raines, he named his firstborn after Andre Dawson, called him Andre. Nice. Yeah. Oh, listen, it definitely he has to be on that Mount Rushmore. Definitely. How does a guy from Montreal become a Flyers fan? Because you haven't gotten that question before from me. Well, I asked you that. No, he's not an American.
No.
He's a Montrealer. He's a Canadian. You know how you know he's a Canadian? He shows up for these things. He shows up on early, like he's supposed to. And that's Canadians do that. The American guys don't do that. Only us two
Yep.
Canadians do that.
You're not 5 minutes early or late.
That's right.
No, look, when I really started getting into hockey, like because like actually earlier in the episode we were talking about like when I was like really young, when I was a kid, I was a huge baseball fan, and hockey was like I would watch hockey every once in a while, but it was never really my thing. I only really started getting into hockey around like 94, 95, let's say, and Montreal was starting on the decline. And I have family in Philadelphia, and my uncle here, my mom's brother, is also a Flyers fan. So, and that was like the peak of Eric Lindros. So I just ended up graduating and like gravitating towards the Flyers and just became a Flyers fan.
Yeah, I can see
Simple as
that.
really.
Lindros was big in the day. I mean, I didn't like him personally because of what he did at the draft. So that set me off with him. But people gravitated towards this guy without a doubt. And I could see you being young like that at the time with all that, and then the Legion of Doom, and yeah, I can see how that could be very attractive to a young kid. And then your uncle, he indoctrinates you kind of into the Flyers, right?
And and also at the same time, like as a kid, I like to be like I used to like to be like a little bit of a contrarian.
There you go.
It was like everyone's a Montreal fan. I'm like, fuck you, I'm gonna be a Flyers fan. I'm like, no.
There you go. So yeah. And listen, there's a lot of people in Montreal, like the fandom that you'd usually, I find mostly I'd see would be Bruins, believe it or not. Never Leafs. It's funny, never Leafs. But Bruins, Flyers. Mostly for me, I see Bruins, but Bruins, Flyers, you'll see here.
There's a lot. There's a lot of Flyers fans in Montreal.
Yeah, you'll see those two teams that I've seen people wearing hats and stuff. Probably that's the most, just never seen. It's rare you see anybody in Montreal wearing a Leafs hat. So rare to see a Leafs hat here.
I actually know 2 Leafs fans.
Yeah, but still, like I used to be a courier, so I was always downtown. Like it's so rare to see a Leafs hat in Montreal.
Yeah, no, it's really not.
So even if Leafs fans come here, they're no better than to wear a Leafs hat. All right, let's move on. Excuse me. Do you think the Habs will find a second line center before the start of the season? No.
No, they're waiting for Crosby.
No, I don't think they're waiting for Crosby. But I don't think they're actively making the effort right now to find one. If they get a call, like if there's whatever, yeah. But I don't see that happening before the season.
No.
Could it happen during the season? That might happen. Could it happen at trade deadline time? That could happen. I don't think before the season though, because that's specifically what you're asking about. Not before the start. So I wouldn't go out expecting anything like that. This is the team. They're going to give Kirby Dach the first shot at second line center. Yep. And then from there, I don't know what the order is, but it's been confirmed. Kirby Dach's going to get the first look at that, and we'll go from there. So, I don't see a move like that now. I think that kind of move would have already happened.
No, but like you said, I think the exact same thing. I think they're gonna give Kirby Dach every chance to grab it, to take it. Like, look, he's young. He's still not super old or anything. So, and he was a former 4th overall pick. So like
3rd overall,
yeah. And like he's had poor guy just can't fucking stay healthy. Like, because you see the flashes when he's healthy, and you're like,
there's some update actually on Dach if you want, because there's some articles out there about it, and he's been on the ice. I saw some highlights. I gotta say, Kirby Dach looking about now. It's just early in camp, right? But looking about as good as I've seen him in a long time on his skates, and what the kind of moves that I saw him make. He's looking very confident. Now, I read a story of Eric Engels interviewed him. It's the second injury, same knee. right? Operation and everything. He learned during the first one, he did some things wrong in how he approached rehab and all that.
Mm.
And he says he matured a little bit in with this injury. He did things the right way, the patient way, and he did it right. He's feeling better than he's felt in a long time. Does that mean anything? No, but what it means to me is that Kirby Doc is ready to give it a shot again, like when we got him, when we first got him, before he had that first injury. So I think, as skeptical as you want to be, I think this is the best Kirby Doc we've probably seen. And if he's going to do it, he's going to do it now. If he doesn't, well, it's the end of his contract. It's the last year. They don't re-sign him, or they move him and get what they can from him. That's probably the plan. But I like what I heard from him, and I like the highlight video I saw of him. Yeah, so we'll see. But I'm encouraged. The team sounds encouraged by it, and we'll see what it means pretty early on.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if like Ken Hughes has feelers out there that, like, if it doesn't work out, if he either gets hurt again or he can't hack it at center. Like, I'm sure like Hughes has got some feelers out there. Maybe
we
like
got other options. No, we've got other options that they're going to look at.
But I'm saying, like, if he has to hit, like, if he has to make a trade, like, I'm sure there's been conversations already. Just maybe nothing's out there just yet, you know?
There's nothing. Like, I've seen him talk about it, Hughes. I mean, is he telling us exactly the truth? I don't know, but I don't think he's really actively at this point calling and, hey, you got like, he's done that. And there was nothing there. They're not making a trade just to make a trade.
Oh, no.
That's clear. They've got plans. They're following them. They're going to stay the course. But if something comes up and he gets a call, hey, we got this guy, would you be interested? And they like that, they'll make a deal. But I don't think he's actively doing that.
No.
So I don't think there'll be anything. Because, teams, 20 games in, teams evaluate. 20 games in is usually where they start to see, okay, we need this, we need that. We're interested in moving this guy. Let's see what we can do. That might be a point where there's a guy that comes up and we get somebody, and by then they'll know 20 games in, is Doc the guy or not? You pretty much know by then. So
that's it. American Thanksgiving. That's what it's always been by American Thanksgiving.
And that's usually around the 20 game mark. It's somewhere around there. And so I guess if the original thing was because I got lost on this start of the season, I'm gonna I'd be shocked almost if something on that front happens. Yeah. There you go.
Yep.
Joe says, I think it'll be Toronto and probably Tampa to drop back. Yeah, I mean, listen, Tampa had a very strong second half, though, to show that they ain't done yet. Now, it's another season. They're all a little bit older. Yeah, I do still kind of think Joe might be right. But Toronto, I think, is falling back.
I was actually, again, another little plug, but I put, it got just released. I did an article basically talking about the trend, basically, like since the COVID season, the shortened season, every full season since the season after, there's at the very minimum 300-point teams that miss the playoffs the following year. So and when I was doing my researching the blog, I'm like who do I think? Like, let me pick 3. And I was
miss the playoffs, not just fall down in the standings.
Miss the playoffs. And I'll give it to you right here. Like, okay. Hold on, I have my dates here. Okay. In 21-22, okay, Pittsburgh, Washington, St. Louis, and Carolina all had 100 points. The year after, in the 22-23 season, they all missed the playoffs. In the 22-23 season, New Jersey, Minnesota, and Seattle all had 100 points. The season after, in the 22-24 season, they missed the playoffs.
Jesus.
Same thing in the 23-24 season. Vancouver, Boston, and the Rangers all had 100 points. Well, guess what? They all missed the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
It's this weird trend that's going on right now.
How many teams last season had 100 points?
Last season, I don't have that in front of me, but
I wonder.
think about 5 or 6 had 100 points last year. It's not
Three
that
of-
rare to get 100 points.
You're saying 3 of those will miss the playoffs?
If it goes by the trend, 3 will miss. Oh, actually, no. Last year, okay, hold on. Last year, Toronto had 108, Tampa Bay had 102, Washington had 111, Winnipeg had 116, Dallas 106, and Colorado 102.
So there were 6 teams.
So there were 16.
Half of them were. Wow.
Yeah.
Right off the top of my head, Colorado sounds like a team that's gonna happen to.
I was debating between Colorado and Winnipeg, and I chose Winnipeg.
You think Winnipeg could fall that far out and miss the playoff?
I think last year Winnipeg was really carried by Connor Hellebuyck and that like amazing season that he had. They lost Nikolai Ehlers. They didn't add that much more scoring. They added 37-year-old Jonathan Toews, and that's about it.
True.
True. There's teams that are gonna be like nipping at those points that like, so who knows? Like I was debating between those two, Winnipeg and Colorado. I ended up going Winnipeg, but in the East, I was debating between Toronto and Tampa. For me, Tampa, why I didn't pick Tampa is I think Tampa has too much depth. They have way too much depth. Like maybe they're not the team they used to be.
Right.
But like they still have a solid defense.
Yeah.
They have Vasilevsky.
Yeah.
They still have Point, Kucherov, Sorelli.
Yeah. Like, so you think Toronto's gonna fall out of the playoffs?
I picked Toronto.
You're not the only one. I'm gonna tell you, you're not the only one. And if I've seen a lot of these predictions, and if you're not thinking they'll fall out, I see a lot of people think they will be 4th.
Yeah. Yeah, what
Montreal ahead of them for a lot of them, just a little bit ahead of them, but yeah. You know what? I freaking love that. Although the one thing I'd like more than that is if Montreal finishes 2nd, Toronto finishes 3rd, and we play them in the first round, and we get to kick their ass in the first round. That's the only thing I'd love more than Toronto actually falling out. And I don't know how much more, because the disappointment and the Toronto fans' tears would fill mugs and mugs and mugs, and I think that might be awesome if they fell out of the playoffs.
I actually in the article, again, go read it, don'tpuckwithmedia.com. I compared the reaction the fans would have to, I don't know if you know who David Cronenberg is.
The director?
Yeah, the Canadian director, David Cronenberg. Okay, yeah. You ever see Scanners?
Yes, of course.
With the head.
Yeah, yes, of course. I've used that in a thumbnail. I've used that. Or in a video.
I put that in the article. Like fucking Toronto's that.
Yeah.
That's what just blow.
Oh yeah.
Like
yeah. It would be so much fun to watch what they say and stuff instead of the bragging and stuff when they know they're gonna miss the play. Oh, I can't. That would be awesome.
Oh my god.
I
would have my popcorn just like.
That would be awesome, man.
It would be the funniest thing in the world. I swear to God. Like again, sorry, like I'm just gonna like quote a movie, but you know, like in The Dark Knight, when like Alfred says some people just like to watch the world burn. That would be me watching Toronto just lose.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it'd be awesome.
It would be the greatest thing ever.
Imagine no, I would. Yeah, I guess that is what I'm saying. If they could battle for that 3rd spot, and then. Or 4th spot. No, 2nd and 3rd spot. Because they play in the first round. I want them to play in the first round if possible. I want a repeat of 2021. BL says, I might be biased. Who are you talking about here now? Me, of course. He's always on my case about that. BL's been around a long time. He's a very valued subscriber here. But we always just rack on each other. And it's fun.
Awesome.
So, yeah. There needs to be a boardroom clean out at Buffalo. Yeah, they got
Agreed,
something
Joe.
got to be done. I
Agreed.
mean, they kind of do that, and then it still doesn't work. So whoever is making the decisions on who's coming in is got to change that. They got to bring in good hockey people, not just they're hockey people.
Mm.
You got to bring in quality people.
Quality people, experienced people that
Yeah,
know what they're doing, and the
right.
owner has to keep his hands out of the cookie jar. That's
Yes.
basically it. Like,
Yeah.
let the people that know what they're doing run the organization.
Yep.
That's like, it's as simple as that. Like,
It's
he's way too
partially
hands-on.
it's partially what happened here in Montreal. It's not that Bronfman was no, Molson. That's the Expos. It's not that Molson was really too heavy with his hands in the cookie jar, but he kind of did listen too much to the GM at the time, which was Bergevin. And then when he finally realized that that's not the answer, I got to bring in these good people finally. And then look what happened. They did a rebuild that's really been successful. And look where we're headed, they got like after 14, 15 years, how are you not doing that in Buffalo?
It doesn't make sense.
If I'm a fan, I'd be so pissed being a fan there. Jesus.
Man, no playoffs in 14 years? How do you still have fans?
How do you still have fans? That's a good point.
Fans?
Do they? How many? Do they?
No.
I don't know what the arena looks like. I never really pay attention to that, what it looks like when we're there. But,
Anyway.
Oh, this is nice. Thank you, Johnny. Appreciate that. I try. I try. I appreciate that. Johnny's been around a long time. Johnny Golden was one of my he was in that first group of people, and he was always around and everything. And then it's a cycle thing. And I know that with subscribers, because you can't always for years and years. And then, interest wanes. I do the same shit all the time. And people are in and out. But Johnny recently came back after a while. And so he remembers me from before. So I appreciate that.
Right.
That's he was around in the early years where I don't even know why he was around. Like, that's how bad I was, and yet he was still around. So very much appreciated, because I was not very good in those days. I mean, that's my opinion. Renegade Man says, I don't think McTavish is going anywhere. No, it came out that they're not trading him. Can they resign him? I don't know. We're just going to try to get through these comments, and then we're going to be taking off here because we're kind of running later than I usually do. You're good for another few minutes? You good?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Brady Tkachuk did the same the same time with the holdout, and Ottawa gave in. How much time did he miss in the of the?
I think he might have missed a game or two at the beginning of the season, but
that's not bad. That's
remember.
Cool. Like, if they can get McTavish signed now, right? He missed a few days. That's nothing. That's not going to really affect him. But if he goes 3/4 of the way or more, like, that's not good, because he's, like you said, he's just catching up, and it's not a good thing. Hey, David, how's it going? You're a bit. It's okay. Don't worry. Really hope Doc can play hard all season. Me too. And I hope it's the first. And listen, I hope. Am I crazy? No, because I don't expect. But I hope it's like the first season of his career. And I mean, you go back to juniors, that he doesn't get injured and he can play a full season. In camp so far, looks like he's playing really hard. Like, he's really taken it to heart. He says the lessons have been learned. He's matured, and he wants to make that next step. We'll see what he does. Where was I now? Isn't Doc an RFA after season? Good question. It's a good question. But even if he's an RFA, they don't have to qualify him. They can still trade him and get what they can for him. But you're probably right. He's still an RFA because he's still young.
Yeah, he's Kirby Doc is still an RFA, and he's 2 years away from UFA.
Yeah. Best Kirby Doc. So instead of a dozen games, he will play 20. Who was it? Alex in our chat the other day. He gave it a 14 over under 14.5 games. I had to laugh at that because it is funny. And listen, I might have defended it last year, but honestly, I didn't know that he's gotten hurt every year, all the way back. You're like, okay, well then there's no doubt this guy's injury prone. So sometimes injury prone guys get over it somehow and have years where they don't get hurt. I'm hoping that's with him. He got them all out of the way and he's good. So, and hopefully his knee is fully repaired and isn't gonna snap on him again.
Hopefully.
I mean, listen, when you tear it twice.
Yeah.
Although, listen, surgical, what's the word I'm looking for? Repair. It gets better, right? What they do, it does get better. So maybe there's been, some kind of discovery, and they do it a little different, and it's stronger, and it holds up better. You never know. Just it's hockey. And hockey's goddamn tough on a knee. That's for sure. The way you got to twist and turn, you get hit in awkward positions. So I don't know. Let's see. Born to be a Hab. Good to see you out there. Hope they keep Gallagher. Gallagher's not going anywhere. But seen there were rumors of a trade, but did not catch any details. I haven't seen a Gallagher rumor for a trade. At what he's making, I don't think anyone's trading for him. And you know what? I don't think Montreal's going to want to we'll retain 50%. They don't seem like that he's got, I think, 2 seasons left. I don't think they're going to retain for more than 1 season or part of. So I don't see him going anywhere. And besides, Gallagher's been playing really well last 2 seasons. No problem. Even though he's making a lot and he's probably going to be on the 4th line, I think he's still going to do well down there, and he's the heart and soul of this team. And I think he's really important to it that way. I don't see him going anywhere. Cannot.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think he's too much of a staple on this team. Like he's an icon at this point where it's like, Gallagher's not going anywhere.
He's been here 15 years. Quite frankly, I think he retires as a Hab too. Because of that contract. Maybe, and it's maybe next season at the deadline, maybe they move him. But I think there's too much respect there, and they'll hang on to him, and he'll retire a Hab.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things where unless he goes to the team and says, you know what, trade me,
he's not doing that.
No, exactly. So
no, Brendan Gallagher. I think there's no way Brendan Gallagher's going to this team and saying, trade me. No. He's a Hab through and through and through and through. Exactly. He said that. He's,
And look, this is the guy. He's going to really show his value in the playoffs. That's the, look, maybe, he's not going to, I get it. It's a big cap hit. He's not going to, maybe he's not living up to the contract right now, but look, I think he's one of those players that at this point of his career that, maybe he'll get you 30, 40 points in the season, but then he's really going to show his value come playoff time. So
we're still talking Gallagher. He's not getting 30 points, but he'll get you, 25. He might get 30. You never know, but not from the 4th line. I don't think from the 4th line, but you're right. He shows his value in leadership. He's a strong leader. He doesn't back down. He always gives everything he's got every time he's on the ice. That's something not too many players can do. That is something Gally does. He gives it all on the ice. He doesn't leave anything out. So, I think there's a lot of respect there. I think he retires as a Hab.
Yeah. You know what? Just look at his stats quick. He got 38 points last year.
He did, but I don't think his role is going to be I think it's going to be a little less offensive. So he might get that. I don't think he's going to be that far off, but it depends where he's going to play, honestly, and who he's playing with.
True.
But I think it's going to be Anderson, Gallagher, and Evans as the center, fourth line. It's what it seems like it's going to be. Let's see, Paul. I wonder whether Joe Quenneville will turn out like John Tortorella and his style of protein. Of protein will wear.
He corrected it after. He means style of coaching.
Coaching. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Will wear thin. Will wear thin very fast with young players. I hope that's what happens.
I doubt it.
I'm not happy he's back in the league, to be honest. So yeah, will it? Yeah, unless he's changed as far as style, because that style doesn't really work as well anymore.
Yeah. Well, he's not. Well, Joe Quenneville doesn't really play like a defensive style game. He's more like because look, if you look at those teams in Chicago when he was there,
that's not what I mean.
And even Chicago, like when he took over, they were a very young team. Like you had a young Kane, you had a young Taze, you had a young Sharp, young Seabrook, and blank on the other one right now. But
even that's a while back.
But that's it. He took over there, I think, in 2008 or 2009. I can't remember. But they were a young team.
Yeah, but it's not what I mean by style. I don't know. But for me, what I mean by style is that kind of gruff, meaner style. I don't know that works anymore. So unless he's changed that,
I thought he played more of like a run and gun. Like I thought it was more off. They used to push
his coaching style to how he deals with the player.
We'll see.
He's more of that sort of Tortorella kind of, that type. I don't know that works well with today's players. I really don't. So I don't know how that's going to go over. But maybe he's milder because of everything that he went through with all the suspension. Maybe he comes back different. I don't know. But
I would hope so.
I know.
It's your last chance, man.
If he doesn't last long, I'm good with that. Scorchy, how's it going, man? Good to see you out there. Hey, is that a picture of you? Because that's not what you usually use. Awesome. Good to see you out there, buddy. I like to see this guy. One of the reasons why is my dad, growing up, his nickname was Scorch.
Oh.
And so he comes on, first time I saw him, Scorchy. It's like that makes me think of my dad. So, yeah. Good to see that.
Awesome.
And I don't think I've seen him since last season, since the end of the season. All right. Well, it looks like we reached the end. Anything else you want to talk about while we're here?
No, I'm good. Just you know what? Just check it out. I'll plug myself. Check out don'tplugwithmedia.com. I got a blog coming up every week, so I got my posts the last couple of weeks. Check it out if you want. Flyer a pod. If I'm not assuming there's any Flyers fans out there listening right now, so but whatever. Plucking Out podcast. We talk NHL. Check it out.
I was involved. I directed, but I was involved in the. I took part in the show, so maybe. But check it out; it's out there. No link. Just go to the other channel, and you'll see it there, because it's brand new. What did I wanted to say something? Oh yeah, I got this here, and I have to do this because I got some products that are on the shelf, and if I don't go, hey, check out the mug, the hat, and this shirt. And also, if you are interested in getting any merch from this channel, you want to go down to that link that's at the bottom and on the bottom of this. We're doing a September promotion. All orders, $100 or more. As soon as it hits $100, this free mug for your daily fix of Blue Blanc Rouge gets automatically put into your cart, and it is free. So you get a free mug if you head over there and make an order like that. So just to let you know. And yeah, that's it. We didn't get to the Who stats, but that's fine. I'll save them up for another time. And I think that. Oh yeah, preseason games. So Monday we're playing Pittsburgh. It's not put up there yet, but I'm going to obviously be doing that game. And then Tuesday, Philadelphia. And I'll be doing that. And then there's Thursday and Saturday. And we're underway preseason, and then not long after that ends, I think it's 3 days in between, and the season starts, and that's it. So hopefully you guys will be there for me. Yay. So anyways, we're looking forward to that, and it's really exciting. And that's it. I got nothing else. So yeah, check out Eric's writing at don'tpuckwithmedia.com and check out his blogs. I've got some over there as well. Check it out. And yeah, that's it. Have a great rest of the evening. It's still early. It's only 9:30. It's Saturday night. Everyone's got stuff to do. Have a great rest of the night, and I'll be back. I don't know, when am I back? Oh, that pod. I'm doing the pod tomorrow, so look for that. Probably be out on Monday. That's Hab Normals, and I'm going to be doing my season preview. So that should be something that you might want to see. I got like 4 pages that I'm. Yeah, so got a big season preview. Check that out, and that's it. I'm going to stop talking now. So till next time, stay safe out there. Peace out, y'all. And thanks to Eric over there for joining us. And it was a great show. I had a lot of fun doing that. So we'll have Eric back again when he has the opportunity. Although this may be the last Saturday Hockey Talk for the season. During the season, I don't have a lot of opportunity to do it. So yeah, and but I'll be back at next off season with it. So yeah, there's that. I forgot. And then maybe next time you see me, the set will be done. I got to work on that. I'm redoing the set, and that's it. I'm going to stop talking now. Ciao, everybody. Have a great night. Thanks for being here. Super appreciate it. And yeah, I don't know what to do now. No, I know what to do. I just screwed myself there. Ciao, everybody.